Good morning, Michael Walsh and Roger Norgel here. Welcome to Norwal Farm. Today we've added some additional bottle babies from down at the shed, so we're going to be training them today and getting them started. Got this set up, and two new ones. That little black one there is one I brought up, and then the other one's underneath there. He's a little older. He actually drank good this morning. This one's still a little bit tough getting her to drink, but she'll get a little hungry. Some of these were shivering. It's back in the 20s up here today, so I did put another brooder up for them. Got some hay out here for them, and then put a little grain over there, get them started on solid feed. So anyway, we're up to 8 bottle babies. That one underneath there, I saw him stealing from other does, so I knew he was hungry. And he has 2 sisters, so I left those on the doe. And then this one was one of the last set of quads, and she was just looking a little gant and just kind of standing around, so I pulled her off. The others appear to be doing okay, and as long as they look okay and I don't see anybody stealing, we're going to leave them on there, because some of those does milk really heavily, and they've got enough to feed 3, but I told Roger we'll err on the side of pulling them off too soon rather than too late. You know, if they're if I see them stealing, that tells me they're hungry, or if they just look a little thin and just kind of standing around, then we'll pull them off. So we're up to 8 right now, and we'll see how it goes. Well, the other kids down here are looking pretty good. There's a set of triplets here, and their brother is right there, and they all look really good. So twins are doing great. Everybody's looking good. The only one that's just a little thin is that little one there, and that's one of the last quads, so it's a smaller one anyway, and that's its brother right there. So there's only 2 on her now, so they should be getting enough milk, and as long as they look like this, they're starting to eat solid food. Hopefully we won't have to pull any more off, and we get them eating solid food, and then we'll wean them when they're about 10 weeks old, the ones that we're not going to send out to pasture. So this is encouraging. We'll just have to monitor it every day and go from there. Decided to bring number 25 with her set of twin Ile-de-France lambs in. They're 2.5 weeks younger than the youngest lamb in here, but I wanted them to have some creep feed, and I feel like she was just falling behind once I took her off grain. So stick her in here, and we'll see how these guys do. And not sure if I'll wean her this group, or what I will probably do is when I wean these lambs, I will put her and her lambs in with the next group of ewes and lambs, and then just wean them with those when they come down. So just feel much better about it. See this lamb here starting to eat some hay. They were doing that out in the other lot, but want them to have access to grain as well. So just feel better having them in here. For some reason, Champagne and Garrett have decided not to go in the feeding station, and they won't go in this pen either. So we're not sure why this happened. We do know that Charm was resource guarding. Maybe they're afraid to go in there. So we got to retrain them, because they're just, we throw a little food out for them and they just barely eating enough to keep going. So our thought is we will pen them, make a pen for them in the run-in shed, and we'll stick a self-feeder in there and water. And they will just stay in the shed by themselves, no sheep or goats in there. And they start eating from that feeder. Then we'll construct a 3-sided pen, or maybe start with 2 sides around the feeder and just gradually build the feeding station over time. It may take several weeks to get them reconditioned to going in there, but we got to do something, because they're just not getting enough to eat. So I'm taking this down today, and we're gonna see if we can get that set up today. Just took delivery of the new manure scoop, so we're gonna give that a try today. And I've got to get this barn cleaned out this week and get it ready for the ewes because they start lambing the end of next week. So kind of on a tight schedule, so we're going to get started today. You can see where the fence line is here in the barn. So this took about, maybe 2 hours, not too long. The new fork is working very well. I like the shorter tine, and they're stronger. So we'll have to get this area here cleaned out, and then I'll have to make a new pen for the baby goats so we can get that cleaned out. But not bad for first afternoon. Good Wednesday morning. It's March the 19th. Today I've got the barn cleaned out as much as I'm going to clean it. We won't need a lot of claiming pens, and if I do, I can make smaller pens out here. The kids are set up here, and it was tough to get the tractor in around this to clean this out. That is basically dry. So we're just going to gate this off. I'm going to give them actually 3 pens because they're growing pretty fast. We've got 8 bottle babies now, and so far the rest of them are doing pretty good. So we're going to gate this off here, and I'll have to kid-proof that manger over there. And then we're going to bed this down, and I'll put the gates back up here like they were, and going to try to coax the sheep to follow me. I think they will. They're pretty well bucket trained. So if we can just get them all to walk up here, there's 14 of them, and we'll get their grain troughs in here and put grain in there so when they get there, they'll have something to eat on. So that's going to be our project this morning. All right, I've expanded their pen. Put up the plywood up there and some here. As you can see, there's a lot of temporary fixtures with these little goat kids. Doesn't look fancy, but it does the trick. It's all temporary. We'll take it down once they're gone. I am going to put a gate from here over to there because we won't need this hay rack for the ewes. And then that way I can stabilize this because the sheep will rub on that. So we got to make it strong enough that it'll hold up for the sheep. But they're loving their new space. They can jump up in the air, and I'm going to stick some hay up there for them. They're starting to nibble on grain and a little bit of hay, so this gives them a lot of space to kind of romp and play. And they have really grown. I mean, these things are growing really fast. They're eating 8 ounces of formula 4 times a day, so that's a quart of formula a day. And another week or so, we're gonna increase the amount, but don't want to overfeed them, and they seem to be satisfied. So they're liking that extra space. Feeling pretty good this morning. Yeah. They're getting to be pretty tame too. The last 2 we put in, I was able to catch the little black doeling this morning without issue. And the colored buckling, he's coming right up to me now, so that makes it easier feeding them. I fashioned a little trough there for them, and they're going to climb on it and spill stuff, but it falls down below. And the whole idea is to get them starting to eat on the grain. So that'll work. And then once they're consistently eating, I'll put a little bit better trough in there for them. But they're 2.5 weeks old. And so you can see that one right there, that brown one, she's starting to nibble on it. So hopefully this will work. But yeah, they're going to climb on it, and then it springs like that. I need to put another bolt in that, I think. I put a second screw in it, and it's pretty much taking the spring out of that, so that should work okay. Because they're going to climb on it. There's no doubt about that. You just have to allow for that. And they're curious enough. They're all going to come up here and check it out. First they sniff it, then they bite it, then they climb on it. So, just like that. Let's see, it didn't spring off, so that should work. I just put a fresh flick of hay in that corner, and they're really chewing on it. I'm not sure how much they're swallowing, but at least they're exploring it and chewing on it. So they should be eating solid food pretty well here in another week or so. It's surprising how quick they start. So And I think they like it up here because it's a little bit of a challenge, or it's curiosity. They have to come through there and hop up, so it's not as boring for them. So, and here's a little guy that just came in last. Yeah, he was a triplet, and he was running around stealing. And so he's catching on that I'm the food guy now, so that's good. All right, I've secured this gate here. I took one screw and just screwed it right in there, and that's holding it well. And then this is wired here, so that's going to hold that. I gave him another jumping box. They like their toys, so got to keep them entertained. So now we got to put the steel rebar in. There was one there, and there's one out here at the corner. Put those back in, get the gates up, and then we'll put some straw out there. I know I've mentioned it before, but these hay racks are really easy to take down and put up. It takes me less than 5 minutes to take them down or assemble them, so I really do like them. I've got the metal rebar driven in, some gates set up. I'm not going to show you video of me doing every step of this. I'll just show you in stages once we get done. So next thing is put the straw down. Then I have to go down and bring the feed troughs back and put grain out for them before we try to bring them up. So we'll continue on. I have to admit, this is going a little bit slower than I had hoped. I'm realizing I'm not 100% yet after COVID, so I have to pace myself, but we'll just take our time and get it done. This is going to work out well, I think. I finished putting the straw down, and just a good base layer. There's some fairly good sized chunks there, and I'll walk through it and spread it around a bit. So, got the bigger water tank in the corner. I'll have to bring the hose up with me to fill that. So I think we're ready to bring the sheep up, at least give it a try. I gotta go get the grain troughs and then lure them up here with some grain. I realized driving up here that this gate placement won't work to try to get the sheep to go in, because if you look at that, it looks like one solid gate, and they're not going to go towards that. They won't, unless they were coming from this direction, to be able to see the opening. So I'm going to take this gate down and put it over here, and that should work. There, hopefully that's a bit more inviting for them because they can see a corner there. We'll see how it works. So far, it seems to be working. Here we go. Always helps to have a bucket train. Come on. Bucket trained and hungry. I don't know if you can hear the rain on the barn or not, but it does started to rain lightly, so we do need the rain. And fortunately, I got them all up here before it rained very hard. I do have to go down and bring the hose back, fill the water tank, and probably give them a little more grain this afternoon, because I've still got some in the truck I haven't unloaded yet. But very pleased with how it went. I thought they would follow me, and I was pleasantly surprised. So we start lambing in about a week up here. I think it's the 28th of March or something like that. So excited to see what kind of lambs we get. Well, it's nearly 5:30 in the afternoon on Wednesday, and finished up by unloading 1,000 pounds of grain. That's our ewe ration. We store it in these plastic containers. They have lids that go on them, keeps the mice and the birds out of it. So I will admit, it's a long day and I'm pretty tired. We got a really cold rain right now. It's one of those miserable, cold, windy, rainy March days. We do need the rain. but I'm glad we don't have any baby lambs coming right now. The lambs that are outside, they've got shelter they can get into, and it's warm enough, so they're doing okay. So like I said, I don't think I'm totally over the COVID. I'm just pacing myself so I can get things done. But anyway, thanks again for joining us at Norwal Farm. We'll see you next time.